You were born in medieval England, 1240 AD, into a family with a father who was more married to ale than to his duties. He loved his 5 daughters in his own strange way. But love didn't put food on the table or save dowry money. You were the second youngest, and by the time you reached 15, everyone in the village knew you were the most beautiful of them all. A powerful general in the king's army even noticed you, declared he wanted to marry you. But his family demanded dowry, a dowry so heavy it could sink a ship. Your father, of course, had already wasted most of his wealth on alcohol and marrying off your older sisters. When he heard whispers that the church was secretly paying for young women to become nuns, he didn't think twice. That night, he kissed your forehead. "God will take care of you, love. And with this silver, I'll take care of myself," he said. The next morning, men from the church dragged you away. They shaved your head in front of everyone. Your long hair, the thing strangers once praised, dropped in piles at your feet. They shoved you into a rough black cloth that smelled like mold. You caught your reflection in a brass tray. Your beauty was gone, stolen in one cruel hour. At the convent, you expected quiet prayers and maybe some hymns. Instead, the priest shoved a stiff brush into your hands. "Scrub the entire church floor by tonight. God sees your effort. Don't disappoint him." You looked up at the vast nave, the endless stone slabs and never-ending floors. You scrubbed until your back screamed, hands blistered, knees raw against stone. When dawn came, you collapsed on the benches. The priest examined your work. "Amateur work. Do better next time. Wake at 4 tomorrow morning." No excuses. This is the rule. Sleep became a luxury you could never afford. At 4 the next morning, bells rang. They dragged you into the chapel and made you kneel. 7 hours passed as Latin prayers droned. Your stomach twisted with hunger. Your knees swelled after kneeling for hours. Your head felt light. You noticed an apple by the altar, shining in candlelight. You reached, trembling. A sharp smack burned your hand. No food. 3-day water fast for new nuns. You must purify. It's our tradition. The nights were crueler. You lay on bare stone floor wrapped in a curtain scrap. The wind howled through cracks, freezing your bones. Rats scurried nearby, warmer than you. You closed your eyes and wondered if this was God's plan or just the priest's amusement. You endured it, suffered it, even though you were dying. One day you found a half-dead peasant boy outside the gates, lips blue, body shaking. Without thinking, you slipped him apples from the storeroom. His eyes lit up with life. For a moment, you felt human again. But mercy doesn't stay hidden. A senior abbess was secretly watching you. "Thief stealing God's apples for beggars." You said, "He would have died." She replied, "Better he die than you dishonor the convent." They dragged you to the senior priest and told him what you did. 10 days without food. Let your soul starve with your stomach. Let God show you the real value of food. Your heart sank. But then a visiting higher priest stepped in. His robes shimmering, his voice smooth. "Service to the poor is service to God. She should be pardoned." You nearly wept with relief. But later that night, he found you in a dark corridor and whispered, "You owe me." You said, "Owe you what?" Nervously. He grinned and said, "Your silence, your body. God forgives sins, but I forgive punishments," you begged. You tried to run, but he grabbed you. That night, your vow of chastity was stolen, not given. You lay awake after, broken, staring at the cracked ceiling, knowing even God wouldn't come down to save you. Weeks later, they made a spectacle of you. During a public ceremony, they dragged you forward. The priest said, "Confess your sins before all." You said, "But I confess." He shouted. The villagers stared. You confessed to things you never did: lust, disobedience, pride. The crowd gasped, nodded, judged. Then came the finale. They gave you a whip. The priest said, "Punish yourself for God." You struck your back again and again until blood seeped into your habit. The villagers crossed themselves, satisfied as you swayed on the verge of collapse. Months crawled by, hunger, cold, silence, until your belly began to swell. You knew instantly whose sin this was, but no one would believe you. When the truth came out, the convent exploded with fury. The abbess spat, "Whore! You've defiled holy ground." You said, "It wasn't my choice." The priest said, "Silence. You are cursed. They banished you in shame." You stumbled into the village streets, clutching your belly. People hissed, spat, called you a harlot. You begged your family to take you in, but your father, drunk, slammed the door. You failed God. You failed us. You're no daughter of mine. Tears froze on your cheeks. You found shelter in muddy barns, eating scraps thrown to pigs. Even beggars mocked you. Eventually, the kingdom put you to work scrubbing noble toilets. That was survival now, scrubbing filth while nobles laughed above you. Then the plague arrived. It crept like smoke through the streets. Black boils, fever, death everywhere. The healthy fled, but outcasts like you were forced to stay. You cleaned the sores off the dying, carried bodies to pits, coughed the sickness into your own lungs. Your body, already starved and fragile, broke quickly. Fever raged. Your skin burned. Your breath rattled. You begged for water, for mercy, for someone to just say your name kindly. None came. When you died, they didn't pray. They didn't bury. They threw your body onto a cart piled with hundreds of plague dead. The cart rumbled to the cliffs. Your body tumbled into the sea, nameless, faceless, forgotten, and that was your story. Born beautiful, sold for ale, chewed up by the church, abandoned by family, and swallowed by the plague. So next time someone tells you medieval times were full of romance and chivalry, remind them. Sometimes it just sucked. And nothing sucked harder than being a forced nun,